Barack Obama, the first African-American president from Chicago to the White House. The historic night, November 4, 2008, Grant Park, Chicago. Barack Hussein Obama stood before 240,000 people and millions watching worldwide to claim victory as America's 44th president and its first African-American commander-in-chief. Just 143 years after slavery ended, the impossible had become real. But this story doesn't begin with election night fireworks. It begins with choices. A young man deciding to organize communities instead of chasing Wall Street money, a state senator learning compromise in Springfield, and a first-term U.S. senator daring to challenge the inevitable. This is the authentic story of Barack Obama's journey through American government to the White House. The foundation, community to classroom, born August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii, to a Kenyan father and Kansas-born mother, Obama's childhood was unconventional. After his parents divorced, he spent years in Indonesia before returning to live with his grandparents in Hawaii, graduating from the elite Punahou School in 1979. After earning a political science degree from Columbia University in 1983, Obama made a defining choice. Instead of corporate work, he moved to Chicago in 1985 as a community organizer with the Developing Communities Project, working with low-income South Side neighborhoods for 3 years. In 1988, Obama entered Harvard Law School, becoming the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review. He graduated magna cum laude in 1991, then returned to Chicago to practice civil rights law and teach constitutional law at the University of Chicago, a position he held from 1992 to 2004. Springfield. The training ground on January 8, 1997, Obama was sworn in as Illinois State Senator representing the 13th District. According to Illinois State Archives records, he served 3 terms until 2004. His early legislative work focused on practical improvements, welfare reform, a $100 million earned income tax credit for working families, and increased child care subsidies. But in 2003, when Democrats regained the majority, Obama became chairman of the Health and Human Services Committee and made his mark. He sponsored groundbreaking legislation, making Illinois the first state to require videotaping of homicide interrogations, addressing death penalty system failures. He passed the nation's first racial profiling monitoring law, requiring police to record the race of detained drivers. According to State Line's 2008 analysis, Obama worked across party lines, collaborating with Republicans on ethics reform, including the Gift Ban Act that prohibited politicians from using campaign funds for personal use. He also learned from failure. In 2000, Obama challenged 4-term incumbent Bobby Rush for a U.S. House seat and lost badly, by more than 2-1. The defeat taught him humility and patience. The speech that launched a movement, July 27, 2004, Boston, Obama, running for U.S. Senate, delivered the Democratic National Convention keynote address that electrified America. "There is not a liberal America and a conservative America," he declared. "There's the United States of America." The speech launched Obama onto the national stage. 3 months later, he won his Senate race with 70% of the vote, the largest margin in Illinois history, carrying 92 of 102 counties. Washington, Senator Obama. Sworn in January 3, 2005, Obama became only the 5th African-American U.S. Senator in history and the only member of the Congressional Black Caucus in the Senate. According to Library of Congress records, he sponsored the Lugar-Obama Act, expanding nuclear weapons reduction efforts, and the Federal Funding Accountability and Transparency Act, creating usaspending.gov to make federal spending transparent. As a Foreign Relations Committee member, Obama traveled to Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, building foreign policy credentials. But he spent much of 2006 doing something else, preparing for a presidential run. The audacity. 2008 campaign. On February 10, 2007, Obama announced his candidacy at Springfield's old state capitol, where Lincoln gave his House-divided speech. The symbolism was deliberate, but few gave him a chance against Hillary Clinton's political machine. Then came Iowa. On January 3, 2008, Obama shocked the establishment by winning the caucuses through superior grassroots organization. According to the Obama Foundation, this victory validated his fundamental belief in democratic participation and set him on the path to the White House. The primary battle lasted months. Obama's consistent Iraq War opposition contrasted with Clinton's 2002 authorization vote. His change message resonated during economic downturn. According to the Miller Center analysis, Obama won 14 of 17 caucus states through superior organizing. Delegates Clinton overlooked. On June 3, 2008, he secured the Democratic nomination. The general election against John McCain was fought during the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. According to Pew Research exit polls, Obama won through overwhelming youth support, 66% under age 30, minority voters, 95% of black voters, and superior ground organization. 26% of voters reported Obama campaign contact versus 19% for McCain. November 4, 2008, Obama won 365 electoral votes to McCain's 173, flipping 9 Republican states and receiving 69.5 million votes. Then, a record. The White House, governing through crisis. Barack Obama was inaugurated January 20, 2009, before 1.8 million people, Washington's largest gathering ever. He inherited 2 wars and economic collapse. His first major action was the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, a $787 billion stimulus that helped stabilize the economy. But his signature achievement would be health care reform. The Affordable Care Act. On March 23, 2010, Obama signed the Affordable Care Act into law. 7 previous presidents had tried and failed. According to White House records, the fight was brutal, passing without a single Republican vote and surviving 2 Supreme Court challenges. By 2017, the results were historic. 20 million more Americans gained coverage. The uninsured rate dropped below 10% for the first time ever, and 129 million Americans with pre-existing conditions could no longer be denied coverage. Other major achievements. On May 2, 2011, Obama announced the successful operation killing Osama bin Laden. The economy added jobs for 75 consecutive months. He appointed the first Hispanic Supreme Court Justice, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan, giving the court 3 female justices for the first time. Obama restored diplomatic relations with Cuba after 50-plus years, negotiated the Iran nuclear deal, and signed the Paris Climate Agreement on climate change. The opposition Obama faced unprecedented resistance. The Republican-controlled Congress blocked many initiatives and voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act over 60 times. The Tea Party movement rose in opposition. Yet according to the Britannica analysis, Obama achieved a clutch of landmark accomplishments despite partisan gridlock. Legacy: what he left behind. On January 20, 2017, after 8 years, Barack and Michelle Obama left the White House. His presidency proved an African American could not only win, but govern effectively through crisis. The numbers tell part of the story. Unemployment dropped from 10% to 4.7%. Millions gained health coverage, and economic growth was restored. But the deeper impact lies in what he represented, proof that American democracy could evolve beyond its painful history. Obama expanded the White House's role in health care, climate policy, and social justice. He used executive action when Congress blocked legislation, granting deportation reprieve to young immigrants and advancing LGBTQ rights. His presidency wasn't without criticism or failure. The Affordable Care Act remained controversial. Some progressive supporters felt he compromised too much. Foreign policy challenges in Syria and Libya proved intractable. But from a community organizing office in Chicago to the Oval Office, from the Illinois State Senate to reshaping American government, Barack Obama's journey represents what he called the audacity of hope, the belief that ordinary citizens working together can achieve extraordinary change. The Obama Presidential Library, being built in Chicago, will preserve his administration's records, a testament to a historic presidency that proved America's capacity for transformation.